I want to make a desk filming setup because you're probably used to my videos looking like this, which looks great, don't get me wrong, but that is a decent amount of setup time. It's a decent amount of teardown time, a lot of tweaking, and sometimes when it comes to making content or sharing an idea, I want there to be as little barrier to entry for myself as possible. So I wanted to make a desk filming setup that is small and compact and light, something I could also travel with if necessary. And so in this video, I want to show you what I came up with and how I did it, and hopefully it's something that's helpful to you guys. Let's get into it. So this is the setup that I've been using as my main office setup for the last maybe 5 or 6 months or so, and it's nice, but I want to do something to make it more functional because I feel like I don't really use it very much, if at all, when it comes to actual content creation. This window is nice. I'm a big fan of the window light that comes in, and I would love to be able to use it, but I don't have a desk filming setup, which is what I'm trying to set up in this video. You can see I've got my music stuff in here. That's a good spot for that. I've actually got a MIDI keyboard that I stash underneath the couch there. It's a little unorthodox, but it works. I'm thinking maybe having the camera here, shooting in that direction, making use of this window light here to help light my face, and being able to do that while seeing what I'm doing with this little monitor here. Being able to do that would be very, very nice. So I need to come up with some kind of solution to be able to do that. I figure having a clean space is a good place to start with something like this. So clean up the clutter, get the plant off the desk. That's George, one of our mini house plants, by the way. He's lovely, but I need the desk space. Not entirely related, but I figured it might not be a bad idea to throw in a little charging setup for my camera batteries. That way I don't have to crawl around on the floor under my desk to plug batteries in to charge when they're dead. Not necessarily related to the desk filming setup, but a nice little quality of life change. When it comes to an actual recording setup, using my R6 Mark II is kind of out of the question for a couple of reasons. First off, look at this thing. It's huge and it's ridiculous, takes up lots of space. Second, I don't really want to actually deal with having to set up external microphones, my wireless mics, the whole audio recording system. It's a lot of work, and when I can get something that has decent audio recording quality already, like the iPhone, which I'm recording this voiceover on right now, it really makes setting up the entire audio system just for a desk talking head a little bit much. Okay, so if my theory is correct, I should be able to just mount you right there, and bam. That is a camera, a little filming setup on my desk. Should look pretty good. Bring it back here. Yeah, I know there's a tripod in the background. That's what I was using to get kind of the top-down sort of shots of the desk. I still need to come up with a solution for that that would work decently. I have another tripod that would probably be better for that, but I'll figure that out in the future. For right now, looking at this, when I say looking at this, I mean looking at this. This looks pretty good. I don't mind. George is a little large and in charge behind me there. Don't know if I like that, so I'm gonna... Now, you might be thinking, why are you doing all this? What I've seen before in your videos looks totally fine, and that's true, and I do like that. However, I'm working on trying to mix up what I'm doing in terms of the visual, like the overall visuals for talking heads and stuff. And sometimes I really want to be able to just sit down and talk to camera. And a lot of times I don't end up doing that because I get in my head about all the setup time required, and that feels a little bit like a barrier to entry, you know, so like setting up my R6 Mark II with lenses on it, setting up the wireless microphones, setting up the lighting. The results you get are great, don't get me wrong. But sometimes I just want something that is very simple and allows me to film from my desk. But the main point of this is just to get the barrier to entry in my own head, the barrier to entry when it comes to setup time and effort and all that, get that as low as I can, so that essentially all I got to do is press record and go. Because I'm learning now that it's really important to work efficiently and to reduce the, for lack of a better term, mental barrier to entry when you have an idea. Because I, like many of you, I'm sure, am a chronic overthinker, and so being able to have a setup that allows me to just press record and go and it looks good is really important. So let me tell you about this little thing. This is the Shimbol CP5 phone monitor, and it's honestly pretty dope. Being able to use my phone is pretty great, and I do like it quite a bit. But as I'm sure we all know, when you're using a phone, the rear cameras are the good ones. But when you're using them like I am right now to film myself, I can't see my phone screen. I can't see what I'm filming, don't know what it looks like. So something like this, which connects to your phone via Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, is fantastic. This is basically screen mirroring my iPhone screen here. And yeah, I'm sure that's probably creating some kind of infinity tunnel. So I can see what my settings in the Blackmagic app are right now. I can see what my composition is, what my exposure is. I can monitor my audio levels. Being able to do this while still getting the maximum quality possible by using the main cameras on the phone are fantastic. So if you're someone who is wanting to do video, but like all you have is your iPhone, or you want to use your iPhone as a content creation tool because it's easy, it's efficient, it's fast, then something like this is fantastic if you want to be able to see what you're doing and still be able to use your phone's main cameras. So honestly, this thing is great. I've been using it in this little desk setup, and this is probably primarily what it's going to be used for. But another handy little feature is I can remotely, I'm not going to hit the button because it'll cut my recording, but I can stop the recording remotely with a button up here, which is awesome. I can also screen record my own phone screen. There's a little record button here that I just hit, and now that is recording what's going on my phone screen. And being able to do that, I personally don't know if I have a use case for that yet. I'm sure I will have something where like that will come in handy. I don't know what that would be yet, but having that as a feature, if you need something like that, is really, really nice. So all in all, for a little desk setup, this works really well. This little tripod that I'm sure you can get really cheap. I may or may not have stolen it from my wife, but you know, just getting a cheap kind of bendy tripod or something small that you can mount your phone to sit on your desk, and then an external monitor like this. As far as I'm concerned, you're off to the races, which is going to be very, very helpful for me because I'm trying to figure out ways to create content that looks good, but is also very quick and efficient to create, because I don't want to get burned out or have my content suffer because I get overwhelmed with how long setup and everything else takes. So this, fantastic for that purpose. I feel like I'm wanting to start experimenting more with my content, with different types of content, just like experimenting in my creative work overall, and I want to be able to share that with you. So if that's something you're interested in, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.